The logistics industry is changing all the time with more and more electrification. In London specifically, we have an ultra-low emission zone now, which means that the number of vehicles that are allowed into the city without paying a levy is being reduced. So electrification is more and more important.
Our world is changing very fast. The internet sales are invading our cities, and our old logistic scheme are not anymore convenient. We need to have new vehicles to enter the city centers, and this last mile delivery should be done by small vans, not too small, but with friendly energy anyhow.
The logistic market for last mile is changing very fast because of the urban freight regulations in cities, and also because of the flows which are changing very quickly. The impact of e-commerce is very important. We have a high fragmentation of the flows. The flows are quicker, so the logistic market is growing, is changing very fast.
So e-commerce sales in the UK and in London is booming with a 15% growth year on year. Customers are demanding more and more services and in more time-sensitive slots as well. So combining that with electrification of fleets is a challenge which we've got to overcome. So having more options with larger vehicles that have greater batteries, greater range is going to be much more useful in the urban environment.
The LCV market in Europe has reached records in 2018, even overpassed the volume before the crisis. In France, for instance, we have reached almost 500,000 LCVs last year, which is an absolute record. This is due to this last mile delivery effect. Among this growth, which is more or less 5–6% by year, for 3 or 4 years now, you have a drastically increased of electric vehicles or alternative energy.
So we were in front of a major problem. The e-commerce in France represents only 8% of the consumption, but 20 to 25% of the delivery flows in the cities. And it is growing at a rate of 15% to 20% per year. So we have to organize these flows, we have to consolidate these flows and to find new delivery trucks, new methods to have a very effective way of organizing the e-commerce flows in the cities.
So there is no value in investing in diesel vehicles anymore because it is a type of automotive technology which is dying as a result of changes in legislation affecting air quality, carbon emissions, tailpipe emissions and general congestion in the urban area. Electric vehicles are here to stay, they're improving all the time and will be part and parcel of all our lives going forward.
No, of course it doesn't make sense to invest anymore in diesel vans. Just for one reason, in the major French cities there will be progressively regulations to ban diesel trucks, diesel vans, and so it's absolutely necessary to invest in greener delivery vans.
I think some people have already, like we have, adopted vehicles for nearly a decade, having a fully electric fleet. Some companies are only just starting on that journey. So it's going to take some time before everyone is converted to electric, and the technology also needs to continually improve in order to make people convert to an electric solution.
Experts are saying that to convert the fleet from diesel to electric, it will take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I do believe that it will be much more quicker. As an example, if you were at the IAA, another motor show, LCV and truck show in Hanover last year, you could see that there was electric vehicle everywhere. So, or full electric or hybrid, thanks also to the CAFE regulation and the WLTP, it can be very quick.
Of course, changing the whole fleet from diesel vans to electric vans will take time. But the market is growing very fast. We see that there are also important subsidies from public authorities to help companies, and particularly small and medium-sized business, to swap to electric vans.
So the switch from electric vehicles to diesel is not an easy one. It's not just about changing from one vehicle to another, but it's also about considering the charging infrastructure, what power you've got in your building, and how that might affect other parts of whatever it is you're doing inside your building. So there needs to be more learning and more process learning in terms of how to convert from a diesel to an electric van.
Big companies and big fleets have to find the right compromise between low emission and cost. And we will find the equilibre quite easily, I guess.
So in the cities we know that about 2/3 of the trucks or vans, light commercial vehicles, are LCVs. And we know that it's a major problem to help all these companies, which are most of them small and medium-sized companies, to switch to electric vans. So public authorities have to find ways to help these companies because in the next few years they won't be able to enter in the city centers.